Thank you for your pertinent, technical, and informative presentation on IT leadership. Allow me to ask you Raymond's question. How would you assess or evaluate Korea's IT leadership? What is the Korea's rank or market share in the world and prospect for maintaining this position in general, and Samsung, LG, and KT in particular? Is Korea considered big winner or small loser in IT leadership or technology, in your view?
Well, I think that one chart I showed pretty well summarizes how Korea is doing, and in a word, they're doing great. Korea is doing very, very well. If I remember correctly, the chart that I showed you, as a market share, they've gone from about 6% or so a few years ago. They're now up over 10% and continuing to grow. The companies here are very strong. From a technology standpoint, they're very good. In the areas that they have concentrated on, whether it's DRAMs or flash memory, both NAND and the other, in some cases, broader product portfolios, they're just doing just fine. So I think that Korea has an important role to play throughout the rest of the CMOS scaling era, the next 10 to 15 years. But I would guess that they're probably also beginning to do the things necessary to develop the nanotechnology capability that will allow them to be a major player in that as well. That is a tougher problem. And I'll lead into that now, because I didn't want to do it in the talk. I wanted to do it in kind of a discussion. I want to get some feedback as well from those of you that are thinking about this or involved in this. But I think that we're going to have to spend at least the next 3 to 5 years just looking across the horizon of all of the ideas that are out there that would define nanotechnology slash biotechnology, and how they're going to be interoperable, and how they'll be cross-functional, and how you go about that. And then, having thought that through, then what are the various ways that you can deal with that issue? What are the materials that would be involved? What would the device structures look like? How would you manufacture them? Is it a self-assembly? Is it a constructed methodology? Is it a formula-driven? It is going to be a very, very complex set of issues that have to be dealt with to get you started on now, how do I solve those problems? So I think it's going to take 3 to 5 years to just figure out, what does that roadmap look like? You know, one of the things that has been so great about the semiconductor industry, we started this technology roadmap a long time ago. And everyone around the world, and one of the things that we did, we started that at the SIA, and then what we did after just a few years, we got it going, we got it working very well. We then went around the world and invited everyone else to be a part of it. The Korean technologists are, you name it. There's about 400 of the best technologists from around the world who get together every year and look at this roadmap to see what are the issues out there ahead of us. We're going to have to do something like that in nanotechnology as well. But it will be far more complicated. It'll be much, much harder to define what the first steps of that roadmap are, let alone 15 years out, as we can do with CMOS scaling today, because we fundamentally know what's ahead of us, except for the materials complexities that are beginning to emerge now. So that is going to be the challenge. And I hope it's also going to be the coalescing that will bring the industries from around the world together, and the countries from around the world together to work together on this important technology, because it is going to be so critical to so many aspects of our daily lives. And again, I'll go back to my original point. And driving productivity that is going to be so critical to our economies and to the welfare, the health, well-being of all of our elderly people as time goes on. So that is going to be a challenge that we're only beginning to get the first glimpse of. What is it all about? How do we begin to approach it?